Hi there.
Hi.
How you doing?
Hi, guys.
What's up?
Hey, it's a gloomy day in Philadelphia, and I'm reaping the non-benefits of this gloomy day because I feel crappy.
Well, it also could be that we just ate so much.
We did eat so
I'm a
much food
baby.
for
I feel like we always do that right before
no
we're about to
reason.
go on.
We really do.
Oh, well.
While we were up there, I said that there were these cucumbers.
We were starving, so we ordered some food, and we decided to have, what are they called? Hors d'oeuvres. But they weren't hors d'oeuvres. It was a jar of pickles. And I take out the jar of pickles, and Sarah continues to say...
What did I even say? I said, there's this place I know, and they have the best pickles, and they're like cucumbers, I think I said.
You were like, there's these pickles, but they're not pickles, they're cucumbers.
And Jonathan looked at me like...
I didn't even say anything. I did not even say anything. You were like, oh, pickles are cucumbers.
Really?
And then she found a piece of popcorn in her bra, and she hasn't had popcorn for about 2 weeks, so...
Yeah, and it fell out today at work, so...
You gotta make sure you... scrub all of it when you're in the shower. Don't just let the water run down.
At least we're in the right place, unsolved mysteries.
Oh, that's one mystery that
will never be solved.
Will never be solved. The great mystery of the titty popcorn. All right. So, hi, welcome to Esoteric Oddities, where we talk about weird things. Today's topic is nature is pretty scary.
Scary nature things.
Scary nature things. If that interests you, keep listening. If not, piss off. Piss right off.
Literally.
Is that thing muted? Is it muted? No.
What?
Okay. It made a noise.
Oh, I heard that, but
okay.
I slightly heard it.
I think it is my turn, so I will go first. Are you ready? So, on June 7th, 2016, 23-year-old Colin Scott and his sister Sable were sightseeing in Yellowstone National Park. They left the boardwalk near a popular geyser and began walking several hundred feet away from the path towards the Norris Geyser Basin. Wanting to take a dip in the natural hot tub, Colin walked to the water to check the temperature. Sable took out her phone and filmed her brother as he bent down near the hot spring. Without a warning...
I'm laughing at the name Sable, but go ahead.
Without a warning, he accidentally falls into the water. He screams in pain as he drowned in the water, which measured a temperature of 199 degrees Fahrenheit. Don't know what that is Celsius. You're going to have to look that up. So realizing that the water was scorching hot, Sable could not do anything but panic and watch as her brother struggled. How terrifying is that? You literally can't do anything. I'm just going to readjust myself. And she filmed it.
Him falling?
Him falling in. She has it on film.
It's crazy because there was this Disney movie. I feel like I've seen so many movies as a kid, and I don't know if they're like real or fake or my imagination because I've literally never heard of these movies after. So it's like the guy that it's like his ghost, and he falls in the waterfall, and it's like his ghost. Yeah, exactly. Like what?
I'm just listening. I'm not giving you a look. Well, I am, but...
I can't even tell you what that movie was called. I don't even know if it was real. Like...
I feel like I have that too. I always thought that this movie that was in my head was The Babysitter's Club, but then I described the scene to somebody else, and they were like on a merry-go-round, and it was raining, and somebody like died, and apparently that was not in The Babysitter's Club.
No.
And I swear they were playing the Cranberries. They were playing what the hell is that song?
Do you know what the movie's called now?
No, I don't know what it is.
Oh my god.
Someone was like, "You're crazy. That's not a movie." But it was, I swear, they were playing the Cranberries.
That's what I'm saying, like stuff like that.
And somebody, you know what? Mandela effect.
Probably.
All right, so let me continue. She got help from park rangers, but it was too late. They attempted to retrieve his lifeless body, but had to call it off due to lightning. In the matter of hours, Colin Scott's body dissolved in the severely acidic water. So keep in mind that water's boiling temperature is 212 degrees Fahrenheit, I think. And the water...
Sounds about right.
Sounds about right. I'm just going to pretend like I know what I'm talking about and nod. Except you
can't see him
me nod.
nodding. Yeah.
But, you know, when you're in person and you say things like that, people get intimidated and tend to believe you. So...
That was me snapping.
Okay.
You heard it, but you didn't see it.
All right. So, yes, Yellowstone National Park is terrifying. All natural, but terrifying. Okay, so this is an article from Tomo USA News. So this is a separate story. Ready? Peyton and Katie McCormick were hiking near the Panther Creek Hot Spring with their dogs, Dexter and Dahlia, when the dogs bolted directly for the steaming pool. Unbeknownst to the hikers, drought conditions in the area ceased the flow of cool water into the Panther Creek spring, causing the temperature to rise. So when the dogs dove into the Panther Creek, it had already reached a temperature of 180 degrees Fahrenheit.
No, not the dog.
I know, it's so much sadder when the dog dies.
No, but for real.
Seriously. So Peyton McCormick reacted instinctively to his dog's shrieks and jumped in to save them. But as he attempted to pull the dogs out, poor little Dahlia slipped from his grasp and died in the spring. Peyton sustained second and third degree burns over half of his body, but still walked to a nearby campsite for assistance. Sadly, Dexter died of his injuries a day later, and Peyton, who has no health insurance, had to be rescued from the forest by a helicopter and received skin grafts in the hospital. His family started a GoFundMe campaign to cover his medical expenses. Can you imagine?
GoFundMe isn't real. They take all the funds, and then you're left with nothing.
No, they don't.
They take most of the profit.
Well, that's the deal that you sign up with.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know it was like a previous agreement.
No. The people who do, you got to go through like things to go through. But it's GoFundMe or Kickstarter. I forget which one is which. They like take a percentage, and if you don't reach your goal, you don't get any of it, but the money is returned. It's a thing. I don't know which one's which, and I'm not trying to get sued out there, so hey. I
didn't know that.
Yeah, it's a thing.
That's really crazy.
Okay, so we're gonna rewind a little bit to a different story. July 20th, 1981, 24-year-old David Allen Kerwin was driving through Yellowstone's Fountain Paint Pot thermal area with his friend Ronald Ratliff and Ratliff's dog Moosey. This sounds like a sitcom.
Right.
A
bad one.
A bad Disney Channel sitcom. Okay, so at about 1 p.m., they parked their truck and got out to take a closer look at the hot springs. But little old Moosey, being typical Moosey, escaped from the truck and ran towards a nearby Celestine Pool, which is a thermal spring whose water temperature has been measured to be over 200 degrees. Not the kind of pool I want to be in. Am I right, ladies?
That's a hot tub.
That's one hot tub. That's one hot dog.
That's one hot tub.
Oh my God.
I'm triggered too soon.
Sorry. Okay. So, yeah, he jumped in and began yelping. So Kerwin and Ratliff rushed over to the pool to aid the terrified dog, and Kerwin's attitude indicated that he was about to jump into the spring after it. According to bystanders, several people tried to warn Kerwin by telling him not to jump in, but he shouted, "Like hell I won't," as all heroes yell. And he took 2 steps into the pool, then dove headfirst into this water that was over 200 degrees.
Not all heroes wear capes. They wear swim trunks.
I am triggered. Sorry about that, folks. Okay, so Kerwin swam out to the dog and attempted to take it to shore. He then disappeared underwater, let go of the dog, and tried to climb out of the pool. Ratliff helped pull Kerwin out of the hot spring, and he resulted in second-degree burns on his own feet. Kerwin was in bad shape. He was blind, and when other park visitors tried to remove one of his shoes, his skin came off with it.
Bro.
He sustained third-degree burns on 100% of his body, including his head, and died the following morning at the Salt Lake City Hospital.
Don't people see the steam coming from this?
I don't think it's as noticeable.
I guess because there's a lot of water.
Yeah. Also, like, some of them are hot springs. I'm assuming that could have steam that aren't boiling hot.
Oh, okay, that's true.
So sad to say, Moosey didn't make it either. I know.
You had to go say that joke about the dog, though. A hot dog.
That's one poached egg. It's like poached. No.
I'm triggered.
Sorry. I've never had a poached egg before.
They're really good.
Are they?
Yeah, put them on toast.
Put it on toast. I've had egg drop soup, which is basically like...
I know, you got me into that, and it's like, it looks like boogers.
It looks like mucus.
Yeah.
It technically is mucus with like an unfertilized chicken embryo.
Okay, I'll never have that again. Thank you for explaining.
But it is very delicious.
You have to put hot sauce in it.
Yes, that is.
And they have to have a lot of egg.
Hold the drop. Give me the egg, please.
I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, but for those of you who don't know, kind of getting back on track here, Yellowstone National Park is located on top of a volcanic hotspot. So mostly in Wyoming, the park spreads into parts of Montana and Idaho, too. And at least 22 people have been known to have died from hot spring-related injuries in and around Yellowstone since 1890. Crazy. Have you ever been? No.
No. I've only been to Illinois in that area.
That's not quite there.
Oh.
Illinois is like more Midwest.
Oh, see?
It's a little more left than that. It's okay. Next time, just tell the pilot keep driving.
Just keep driving. I actually drove there 14 hours.
What? Wait,
Yeah.
where? Oh, to Illinois?
It was my first time in Chicago.
Yeah, I when I lived in Chicago, we would make that round trip. We would drive all the way over, and then we would come back. Yeah, it would be me, my brother, in the back of a van with 2 VHSs. It was usually Robin Hood and Shrek. I'm not kidding.
That's
One year we were
crazy.
lucky enough to get How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Very excited because
Oh my god, I'm gonna go home and watch that.
the VHS was green. Also, my Harriet the Spy VHS was orange. So those two were
And the Rugrats one.
favorites.
That was orange.
Was it?
I think so.
I mean, I'm assuming it was orange.
It was Nickelodeon. So
Yes. Okay, hi. We're going to go.
I'm so sorry. I keep going so off topic.
No, don't apologize. Never apologize. If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. Who said that?
I wish you guys could have saw the way he just fixed his glasses just now. I hated it so much.
Okay, so segueing into the fact that nature is terrifying and volcanoes are terrifying. Are you snapping at me? Did you do volcanoes? Did you? Don't tell me.
Okay.
Okay, you already nodded. Okay.
Great minds think alike. Right? Is that what they say?
Certainly something like that.
I know it's alike.
All right, so something else crazy that happened that was terrifying was Pompeii. You know about Pompeii, right? Are you lying? You know what Pompeii is.
Like the country?
Okay, so we're gonna dive into it.
Oh God. Guys,
okay.
I swear I'm so book smart.
She's very book smart, but
No, I guess I don't know.
she's street smart. And if you ever need a piece of popcorn, she's bound to have one.
That's true. 2 weeks.
Give it 2 weeks nice and ripe.
Ew.
Okay, so Pompeii is a vast archaeological site in southern Italy near the coast of the Bay of Naples. I got kicked out of class in 7th grade because I laughed when the teacher was talking about Naples. I couldn't help it. I'm sorry.
Were you like uncontrollably laughing or like just
Well, it was me and this kid, Andrew, and he like would chuckle and I was like, dude, come on, like let's be mature. And then the teacher said Naples again and I swear was egging us on because he gave us a look and then was like, Jonathan,
nipples.
oh wait now.
You probably like probably cursed him out.
No, I didn't. I was a good little boy.
No, you weren't.
Yes, I was. Okay. So I grabbed my best friend by his hair and pulled him into traffic in 5th grade.
I'm saying
That makes me a bad person?
no, guys. These stories run deep. You like why? Look at the podcast he's on. What? I read that stupid Aquarius
Aquarius
thing. That
thing.
was just like you.
Oh my God. She posted this thing on my Facebook and it was like, what was the title of it? It was like,
it's like
reasons you're
deep, dark
disturbed in
secrets
your head.
about zodiacs. Yeah, something
And
like
I'm an
that.
Aquarius Pisces cusp and both of them were very dead on. Do you like that pun I used?
I am a Leo. My birthday's in 14 days.
By the time you hear this, she is already 30.
25.
She's turning 30. Don't let her tell you.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
Dirty 30.
So Pompeii. So it was once a thriving, sophisticated Roman city. It is now was buried under meters of ash and pumice after the catastrophic eruption of Mount Vesuvius in 79 AD. So it was founded in 7th century BC. Pompeii was highly developed and a flourishing city before the disaster. It was a popular holiday resort for rich Romans. It's good to know. So Mount Vesuvius was just a few miles away from Pompeii, but at the time, locals did not even know it was a volcano. In fact, at the time, there wasn't even a word for volcano. It was created afterwards, and volcano derives from the word Vulcan, which is the Roman god of fire and metal forgery. That is you. Incredible. Oh my god. Okay. So I keep bumping the mic.
I'm
sorry.
It's so funny. It sounds so funny. Can you
listen,
just fix yourself?
we need a table here. You guys,
no, you should just use my tablet. Or use your iPad.
Tablet. Shut up.
Oh.
So, so usually when there is a volcanic eruption, there's signs, right? So 17 years prior, in 62 AD, there was a terrible earthquake. Nowadays, we would consider this a warning of volcanic eruptions to happen within the next decade. But back then, they believed it was a message of disappointment from the gods. Billy, every time you touch yourself, the gods are disappointed.
That's really how it was, though.
Yeah, they were just like, oh man, we're doing something wrong. We should lower the prices of those.
Must be Billy and his Willie.
Rabbit pelts. Everyone in the town hated Billy. Every time it rains, they were like, Billy, what are you doing?
With your Willie.
Okay. Unsubscribe just right now. Just go to your podcast and delete us.
Y'all know you love me. What?
Okay. So to please the gods who were upset at Billy, they made the city even bigger and more luxurious. So the Melbourne Museum actually had a really great timeline with quotes from firsthand from this guy who was there, who survived. His name was Pliny the Younger. I kid you not. His name was Pliny the Younger.
That sounds like a bad rapper name.
It certainly does. And so he was 18 years old at the time of the eruption, and his uncle died in the tragedy after sailing to rescue his friends. So Pliny the Younger watched the horrors of Mount Vesuvius unfold before fleeing with his mother, and they both survived. So that's a good outcome. And after he survived, clearly he wrote down I think he wrote them in letters to someone. I don't remember. I don't do anything right. So I'm not going to go into grave details like I normally would, but I am.
Wait, it's grave details?
Grave details.
I thought it was great details.
Grave.
Great detail.
Grave. No, I think it might be great.
Yeah, because why? Great. I'm not going to go into great detail.
Well, don't people say, like, I have grave news? Nobody says that.
I have grave news. Never heard that.
I'm gonna look this up when we're done, and we're gonna find out. Comment now or email me and tell me I'm an idiot. Either one, I'm fine with. I just like talking to you.
Idiot. Wait, what did you say?
Oh, I texted Sarah and I said, what did I say? Edito. IDIDTO. Again, it sounds like something you would order off of the Taco Bell dollar menu.
Can I get an idito? Idito.
You just triggered 25 people. I'm sorry. So, okay, so back to the people of Pompeii. So on the 24th of August, at 8 a.m., a small series of emissions came out from Mount Vesuvius. And he wrote, for several days past, there had been earthquakes, which were not particularly alarming since they were frequent. But that night, the shocks were so violent that everything felt as if it had not only shaken, but overturned. There I go again, knocking the mic. So at 1 p.m., Vesuvius erupts suddenly with great force. A cloud of volcanic materials soars high above the mountain, spreading out in the shape of a flat-topped pine tree. I've never seen a flat-topped pine tree in my life. But
yeah, what?
Yeah, I don't. But that's what they described it as, and when he wrote the letter, that's how he described it. Yeah, I told you that headphone was gonna hurt your ear. Change them out. So within 30 minutes, a surging dark cloud rose 14 kilometers above Vesuvius, and ashes drifted over Pompeii. So then at 3 p.m., Vesuvius spews its contents higher and higher. This is terrifying. If you were there, like, what is happening? You know? Nobody knows. They just think Billy's up to no good. He must have really done it this time. So as it rises, volcanic material... Sorry, we have a little technical difficulty. Not on my part, but I won't say on whose.
Sarah. Okay, we are back.
We never went anywhere. So, yes, as the volcanic material goes up in the air, its fragments of hardened lava, which cools in the air and hails down. It hailed down on Pompeii. It's literally raining rocks. Think about how high above the air that these things are shooting, and they're building velocity. Is that the word? They are raining down like
and they're
hard
hitting
AF,
people.
hitting people. Stop, you're laughing. People die.
Sorry.
So most residents fled, although some went to seek shelter or stayed behind to guide their property, because, you know, you can do a lot with that.
Important than you getting clocked in the head with a rock.
Clocked with a rock. Let's get that on a pillow, please. So volcanic debris begins to clog the river Sarno at the port, making it impassable to ships. Seismic shockwaves shake the area, and Pliny writes, there was a danger from falling pumice stones. As protection against the falling objects, they put pillows on their heads and tied it down with cloths. We also saw the sea sucked away. So the quantities of sea creatures were left stranded on dry sand. This would have had to have been a nightmare. These people did not even know what volcanoes are. I feel like if nowadays something crazy like this happens, like Mount St. Helens, like we know what volcanoes are and what they're capable of. At this point in time, they thought it was a mountain. They didn't know volcanoes existed. Put yourself in that place of not even knowing a volcano existed, and then
it's shooting
and then
rocks.
Being put there. Like, what kind of... They definitely...
sorcery is
They
that?
must have thought that they pissed off the gods.
Oh, yeah. That's
Truly.
True.
Billy
Willie.
And honestly, there's like nothing you can do but hope for the best. Strap that pillow on.
Strap that.
Listen to your favorite song and hope for the best. Like,
That's
even
what I would do.
Even planes and
That would
helicopters. Like, you can't... I mean, not that they had that back then. But, like, you can't do anything.
You can't get away from it. Honestly, if I had to make a survival kit, the only thing that would be in it would be an iPod and headphones.
An iPod, though?
Because
What generation? iPod Mini 2?
No, my iPhone. Because music saves lives.
All right, so at 5 to 6 p.m., chunks of pumice as big as 50 centimeters, and I think... I'm not even going to say what I think that is, because I know it's going to be wrong. Is it a foot? Could be bigger than a foot. Let's just say a football. Is a football 12 inches? Is that what they call it, a football? Or do they call it a football because you kick it with your foot?
They definitely call it a kickball because you kick it with your foot.
A kickball. You heard it here first.
Oh, a football. What? I told you this weather has me...
Listen, we're clearly a valid source for information, so keep listening. We know what we're doing. Listen to us. Seriously.
I really hate us so much. I think I hate us more and more each time.
It's amazing. I love it. Incredible. So the streets and the roads are buried under ash. So then the very next morning at 1 to 2 a.m., scalding mud flows of volcanic debris mixed with steam spill from the volcano down the slopes and over the town of Herculaneum.
Amazing, because the rocks weren't enough.
They sure weren't, because now ash and pumice continued to rain down on Pompeii. The debris is now rising as high as the upper stories of buildings. It burst through windows, doors, roofs, and traps the people inside and suffocated them. He says, quote, "Soon great flames and vast fires shone from many points on Mount Vesuvius. The gleam and light made more vivid by the nighttime shadows." He was getting a little poetic there. He lost me. Essentially, then at 4 a.m., Vesuvius kind of caved in on itself. And it sent superheated ash and gas roaring in turbulent waves called pyroclastic flows down the volcano slopes. Oh, the giant cloud that was huge above the volcano now became too heavy since it had literal rocks in it.
The clout.
And plummeted to the earth and started killing everybody. So then at 5 a.m., there was a second surge, which was even hotter, and it buried Herculaneum. I feel like I'm really not doing those people justice. There was like a town. It wasn't Pompeii. It was like a small town on the other side, and it was right under Mount Vesuvius. It was like at the base.
Yikes.
Yeah.
It's even worse.
Yeah. Honestly, they were the lucky ones. Bye.
Bye.
So they said it was even hard. It was harder to escape. You could not breathe. You could not see. There was ash clogged air. Imagine trying to like breathe in, and all it is just straight ash that just coats your mouth, coats your lungs, coats everything. So then at 6:30, there was a third surge. And then at 7:30, most people in Pompeii were dead at this phase of the eruption. However, Pliny the Younger and his mother were able to escape. And then at 8 a.m., the most destructive surge hits Pompeii with a storm of fire and lightning. It's 8 a.m. People probably have not had their coffee yet. They had to deal with this. I can't. It was probably a Monday, too.
Or a Wednesday.
Or a Wednesday. Yeah. So Pompeii is terrifying. So really quick, some more horrifying facts. The pyroclastic flows, which we talked about, were the gray clouds of gas and rock debris from this eruption, traveled at 450 miles per hour, with temperatures raising as high as 1,830 degrees Fahrenheit. I can't even imagine that. Honestly, if my oven can't reach a temperature, it doesn't exist.
The limit does not exist.
If it's over 450 degrees and I can't bake a pizza in it, I can't imagine it getting hotter than that. Can you imagine?
No, I would die. I am always hot.
Are you ready for more terrifying facts? The eruption of Mount Vesuvius spewed 1.5 million tons
Yikes.
of molten rock per second.
Rocks
per second. That's not just... It was a big deal. So the eruption had the strength 500 times that of an atomic bomb dropped on the city of Hiroshima. Can you fathom that? Also, Pompeii was not discovered till 1748. People just forgot about it. They were like, oh, remember that one town that was over there? No. They didn't find it till this happened in, 79 AD. They didn't discover it till 1748 when workers stumbled upon it.
1748.
I'm logging off right now. Some sources say there were 25 brothels that were found. However, only one has really been confirmed.
Wait, pause. Where?
In Pompeii.
In the wreckage?
Yeah, you could. If you look up, you really never seen anything from Pompeii.
I have.
You have. Like
yeah,
they have like casts of people. You know how their bodies, like you can see how the people were positioned.
Oh.
I watched how they did a lot of them. They literally like would find a body in the ground, and then just like fill it with a cast and then dig it up when it was hardened.
Oh, and it was brothels?
Well, no, there was one brothel, but I'm just saying people are like, ooh, Pompeii was scandalous because they had 25 brothels, but like in actuality, that could be possible, but one was confirmed. Only one was confirmed. And honestly, what was there to do back then? You sold your rabbit pelts, and you just went to
Messed around.
a brothel.
Like rabbits.
Also, I'm really, really interested in opening up a bed and breakfast called the Brothel Waffle. So I'm going to copyright that right now. If anyone's interested, serious inquiries only. I'm totally just kidding. Don't get triggered. Don't send me threats. Yeah, but there was that Pompeii movie. I didn't see it, but it was starring...
That's the only thing I know about it.
Who was it? Emily Browning. Did you see it?
No, I heard of it.
With Emily Browning was in it, and with Kit Harington, I think. Jon Snow?
Kit.
And if you guys want, you can look up, there is an animation, it's called 01 Animation, and they made a crazy, terrifying, realistic portrayal of what it was like to stand there in the town that was totally just gone within 48 hours. Insane.
That's terrifying.
I watched it yesterday. It was kind of terrifying. All right, I'm just going to wrap this up really quick, but I'm going to bring this back to Yellowstone. Okay, this is a fair warning. If you are high and get paranoid easily when high,
get off.
Right now, maybe go get yourself some White Castle sliders if you don't live by a White Castle. Maybe
No, definitely water. Water's the best care.
Yeah, go ahead, drink that water. But like Taco Bell's great too. And maybe just mute this for the next 3 minutes, because I'm gonna hit you with some facts. Are you ready?
I'm not prepared.
Well, Mount Vesuvius didn't care if little Billy was prepared. Okay. So, you want to knock my mic one more time?
Are you mad?
There are only 10 volcanoes in the world considered super-volcanoes. There ain't nothing super about them, and I'll tell you why.
What is that?
One of them is Yellowstone. Right here in the good US of A. So beneath Yellowstone is a molten lava pit the size of Mount Everest. According to CNN, which is clearly a great news choice, this chamber is 2.5 times larger the volume than the Grand Canyon.
Grand Canyon?
Are you listening to what I say? Like, this is insane.
Yes.
So there are 10 supervolcanoes in the world, meaning if they erupt... No, not if. When they erupt, they will destroy everything within at least a 100-mile radius and affect everything globally. Are you ready? No, you're not. Stand up. Sit down. So this terrifying tale, which is true, was brought to you by the History Channel. There's a documentary called Mega Disasters, Yellowstone Eruption. Do not watch while paranoid.
Watch while paranoid.
So... this is what would happen if the volcano that is under Yellowstone, this is what would happen if it erupts.
I'm here for it. Tell me.
So lava would burst through the Earth's surface with an explosion 10 times larger than Mount St. Helens. A hurricane of hot gases. That sounds like 5 minutes after Taco Bell.
Or this food we just ate.
A hurricane of hot gases would spread out in all directions as the ash cloud races 80,000 feet into the air. And this would be just the beginning of the Yellowstone super eruption. Again, nothing super about it. So within days, a second eruption would happen. Then another. And these are eruptions that are popping out of the ground in different locations throughout the park, not just one. So we got a lot of things happening here. So within 100 miles of Yellowstone, there probably wouldn't be anything left. Tons would be dead, and honestly, again, they would be the lucky ones because the ash would cloud up into the air, spread out, and surround the entire planet. Temperatures would plunge, and the sunlight would be blocked for years. Not 4 years, but 4 years.
Oh, not FOUR years.
Yeah, probably more than that.
FOR years.
So crops would stop growing, and we would begin to starve. Ash particles would remain in the atmosphere for over 6 years. We would be breathing in the ash, and it would slowly kill livestock and humans. It may not happen for thousands of years, but one day, the molten lava beneath Yellowstone will make its way to the surface. So if you take anything from this today, keep your dogs on leashes and don't name them Moosey because it will end terribly. Thank you for your time.
Well, that was not light at all.
No, it wasn't. I just tried to bring the truth to you. Okay, so I think it was my last year in college. I had this class. It was by far one of the best classes I've ever had in my entire life. I think I was living with you when I had it. It may have been the following semester. But it was called Disasters versus Hollywood. So what we would do we would learn about natural disasters. For example, a volcano eruption, and then we would watch Dante's Peak. Have you seen Dante's Peak? Oh my god, it's so good.
What is it?
Dante's Peak with Pierce Brosnan, the only James Bond. I know I just lost somebody with this. I'm kidding. He's not the only James Bond. He was the most attractive, but yeah. And Linda Hamilton. So Dante's Peak, basically, it's a movie about a volcano that goes crazy. And so what we would do is we would learn about real volcanoes, take notes on them, watch documentaries. My teacher was really cool. We would write a paper on it, and then we would watch a movie that was about it. And then during the movie, he would give us a little worksheet. It was super easy. You literally just like talked about the things that Hollywood did terribly wrong, which clearly they do a lot of things terribly wrong. But it was really interesting because, things are really unrealistic. And I remember watching Dante's Peak when I was younger, and I was like, yeah, I buy that. Jurassic Park could happen. There was also a movie called The Core, where the center of the earth stops spinning. They have to dig a hole and get it to spin again. If anybody has seen that, I'm sorry you wasted your time. If you haven't seen it, it's worth the watch. Also, there's a movie called Volcano, which we had to watch clips of, which is about a volcano under LA and what happens when a volcano erupts in LA. And I remember what they do, spoiler alert, they pretty much, to put the lava out, to stop the lava flow, they literally get helicopters and like dump water on them. And we had to do the math equation of like how much square footage that was in LA. Then we had to figure out how much that water would actually put out. And we figured out that it would take like over like 50,000 helicopters that had water to stop it. Yeah. And in the movie they had 25.
Yeah, no, sorry.
Yeah, no, not buying it. However, Gabby Hoffman was in it. Another Mandela effect. I swore she died, but she's still alive. I don't know why, but for the longest time I had it in my head that she was not alive.
Like, I don't understand. Is it us? Is it the universe?
I just think we're uninformed.
I don't think that's the word.
But Tommy Lee Jones is in it too.
Tommy Lee
Jones. Yeah.
All right, guys, I'm taking it away. So
take it away.
Before I start this, me and Jonathan, when we research these stories, we do not tell each other what they are. So the fact that we did similar stories and we didn't know about them is really weird.
She texted me. She's like, yesterday, she's like, I feel like we're going to do the same story. Can you the thing was nature. There's a lot of scary things in nature, but
it's mostly volcanoes.
I thought you were going to do all the animals washing up.
I was going to do that, but then as I was researching, it's really because of pollution.
Yeah, and I feel like people would be like, no, global warming. And we're not going to get into that.
It's literally just everything. But it's not, that's like because we did it and we suck as humans. So.
But that's besides the point.
Let's take it away.
Sarah with a tablet that's larger than her future. Jesus.
Yikes. Ouch. So, I'm covering Lake Nyos. And I'm going to start off with a little quote.
Love a quote. I love a good quote.
I could not speak. I became unconscious. I could not open my mouth because then I smelled something terrible. I heard my daughter snoring in a terrible way. Very abnormal. When crossing to my daughter's bed, I collapsed and fell. I wanted to speak. My breath would not come out. My daughter was already dead.
No. This is terrifying. I don't want to hear it.
Joseph Nikwan.
Thank you, Joseph.
August 1986, Joseph Nikwan survived one of the strangest natural disasters in history. On the morning of August 1986, Joseph hopped on his bike and rode from Wam, a village in Cameroon, towards the village of Nyos. On the way, he noticed an antelope dead next to the road and took it with him for later. Very weird. This man...
Well, where is this?
It's Africa. So not weird.
That's not. But I'm just saying, like, that precursor, he probably wouldn't think anything of it. Like, oh, there's
There's a
roadkill
dead
on the
antelope,
side
let me take
of the
it.
bike path.
Yeah.
Totally wouldn't think anything of that.
I'm saying.
In retrospect. Well, again, it could have just been, like, you know, roadkill. Just a dead animal on the side of the road. I'm going to let you continue.
It didn't really say why he took it, but I'm going to guess it was to eat it.
Okay.
Then a short distance later, he noticed 2 dead rats and then a dead dog and other animals. What's up with dead dogs in this episode?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, guys.
It's a theme. A very dark theme.
Soon, Joseph saw a cluster of huts. He thought he would go and see if anyone there knew what had happened to the animals. But as he walked up to the huts, he was shocked to see dead bodies everywhere. He didn't find a single person still alive. Everyone in the huts were dead. He threw down his bike and ran all the way back to Guam. Like, imagine just finding literally a strew of just dead people.
That's terrifying.
Yeah. Like, damn, Joseph.
Okay, continue.
Locally known as the Bad Lake, Lake Nyos, located in the northwest region of Cameroon, Africa, is said to have stories of danger and a story of an evil spirit which emerged from the lake when someone came near it. This is really weird because this kind of is a similar story of Moana. Have you ever seen that?
No, I have no idea.
Well, it just basically has like the spirit from the lake, but it's an ocean. But basically, in that everything is dead and they can't go out to the lake because it's dangerous. But everything around them is dying. In
the movie or in this?
In the movie.
Oh.
But this is basically what's happening in the story, so it's kind of weird.
Okay.
Anyway, Lake Nyos was formed in a volcanic crater created recently as 400 years ago. I don't know why they said recently, but
in volcanic terms, that
is pretty recent.
Yeah,
that's true. For years, wow. For those of you who don't know, crater lakes mostly have high levels of CO2 as they are formed by the volcanic activity happening miles beneath them. Under normal circumstances, the gas is released over time as the lake water turns over. Lake Nyos was an unusually still lake with little in the way of environmental agitation. Rather than releasing the gas, the lake was acting as a high-pressure storage unit. Its deep waters were becoming more loaded with gas until more than 5 gallons of CO2 were dissolved in every gallon of water.
Yikes.
Right. Pressurized to the physical limit, Lake Nyos was a time bomb. Literally, a bomb.
Literally. On
August 21st, 1986, something in the lake went off. It is unknown what the trigger was. It could have been various reasons, such as a landslide, small volcano eruption, or something like cold falling rain on the edge of the lake. Whatever the cause, the result was deadly. In what was known as the Limnic eruption, the lake literally exploded, sending a fountain of water over 300 feet into the air and creating a small tsunami. But far more deadly than the water was the gas. The cloud of gas spread, killing people who were as far as 25 kilometers away from the lake. Kilometers. Nearby villagers who came out of their houses to find the sound that they had heard were overtaken by wafting clouds of gas and fell dead at their doorsteps. This is where it gets weird. People taking naps were killed without their relatives even realizing anything had happened, as the gas settled on the ground with enough concentration to kill, but left those standing unaffected. Which is weird.
They could not have been unaffected. They probably did not know that they were affected.
But it probably happened later. That's what I thought.
It had to have.
About 1.2 cubic kilometers.
It's a kilometer, Sarah.
I know. It's hard to read and say.
Yeah, I'm not an acrobat.
I hate you. Cubic kilometers.
You're like laughing. There's a whole town dead. I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry. Okay. km of CO2 was released in roughly 20 seconds. This massive wave was deadly gas swept over the countryside. Villages near the lake had almost no chance of survival, and in the nearby Nyos, only 6 out of 800 survived. The villagers who did survive by escaping to high ground on motorcycles. Like, at least these people had a way out. Because in yours, they didn't at all.
Yeah, no. Mm-mm.
As the CO2 settled, every flame and fire was immediately extinguished, a sign of doom descending all over Lake Nyos.
That's terrifying. That was 19 what?
1986.
I've never heard of that before. That is terrifying.
But that's like so crazy. Literally, like these places are wiping out entire like.
I bet you there was other like precursors they may have not thought anything of, because if that stuff was happening, that lake would have had to have been. Well, I guess they did have that superstitious thing where they thought
the spirit in the water.
But like the fish would have been done.
Well, that's what happened in Moana. There was no fish for them to eat. So the story's kind of
plot twist or not plot twist.
I don't know what that's called.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, basically.
Spoiler
Moana.
alert. There's no fish in Moana.
I hate you. Moana is the girl. It's not a place.
Oh.
I hate you. But he's mad that I can't say kilometers. Kilometers.
Oh my god.
Kilometers.
Okay. So we have fun facts.
We do have fun facts.
Do you want me to go or do you want to go?
You can go.
Okay. So let me just get my hand down and nope. Oh.
Did you fart?
No, that was my laptop.
Sure.
Stop. All right, so my fun fact isn't exactly fun, and you may have already heard of this by the time this comes out, but doctors found 27 contact lenses in a woman's eye. Did you hear about this?
What?
27 contact lenses.
Come on, chick.
In a woman's eye. Let me read a little snippet from this CNN article. So there's a 67-year-old woman who was scheduled for a routine cataract surgery in November. I believe this was, I don't know why this is just coming out now if it says November. I think this was last year. The
government was trying to cover it up.
She thought she had dry eye because of her old age, which caused her discomfort. So she told her surgeons. But the doctors in the UK found the real cause of her discomfort was much more concerning. 27 contact lenses stuck in the woman's right eye in a blue mass. There's a picture of all the lenses that they pulled out of this woman, and it is truly something that would make you throw up. This is just one of the pictures. They have another one of them all spread out.
Ew, oh my god, it's so dirty. It's
she
green.
Had all of them in her eye. Well, think about it.
For how long?
Let's see if it says. Oh, so there was a mass that was in a clump of 17 lenses, and there was another 10 discovered. And
where do you put that?
Additional examination. So they didn't find them all at once. So they were hiding somewhere in her eye.
Okay, so an eyeball is not just an eyeball.
An eyeball is a disaster.
An eye for an eye.
Waiting to happen.
An eye for a lens, or 20.
An eye for a lens. That's what they say. Blah, 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 blah. Basically, this woman was lucky she did not get... I did say blah, 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 and not read the rest of the article. But in my head, I'm saying she's lucky her eyes didn't get infected. Like, I remember one time I had taken a nap. You don't have contacts, so you don't know the struggle.
I will not use contacts. I don't know how you do it. The fact of something being on my eyeball is like so crazy to me, and I can't.
It's once you get used to it, it's fine. But I hate sleeping in my contacts. The next morning, especially if I've been drinking the night before, it's like literally, I will take them out of my eyes, and sometimes they'll make a noise. They're just like dry. They're pasted to my eye. I can't sleep. So one time, I had taken a nap. And I woke up and my one contact was gone. And I was like, oh, I guess it fell out. So I put another contact in. The next day, I wake up in the morning and have two contacts in my eye, in my one eye. Two contacts, one eye. So.
I think I'm going to throw up.
Please don't. But imagine that woman had like 27.
I think I'm going to throw up.
Don't throw it. There's a bucket under that. I made her a table out of a bucket.
Table bucket. So, did you guys know a polar bear's skin is actually black? The skin reflecting off its clear fur.
I already knew that.
Gives it the white look. Shut up.
I didn't know that.
Steven.
Billy
Willy. Billy with your crazy Willy. Stop it. You're making volcanoes rain.
My mom said it was normal.
That's a volcanic eruption for you.
Oh my God. I can't believe you've never seen Dante's Peak. I keep wanting to call it Dante's Creek because of Dawson's Creek.
No.
Creek, Peak.
Do you remember there's a song called that and you were so mad about it?
Yeah, because they sing the song.
It's so good by them. It's such a good song.
Dawson's Creek. What a time.
To be alive. Rosamond. You and I.
Not quite, but we'll take it.
Is that the lyrics?
Nope.
Yikes.
What are these lyrics? Well, we hope we didn't terrify you away. If we had gotten anything wrong, I'm sure you will contact us. Please subscribe. If you are listening to this on Apple or somewhere you can rate us, give us that review, give us that rating. You know, we would love to hear your input. Help us make this a better podcast for all of us. I promise next time on Sarah's behalf, she will know how to say kilometer.
Kilometer.
Honestly, I don't understand
I told you it was on purpose.
Why don't we, as the people of the United States, have, like, measure everything the same way? Like the metric system? You know, everybody is fine and all together with measurements, and we're like, we want feet. Give us inches. If you want
to talk more about measurements with John, just email us at odditiespodcast@gmail.com. That's ODDITIES podcast@gmail.com.
Every time we say that, it sounds like odd titties.
Odd titties. Got some odd titties.
The weirdest boobs you'll find on the internet.
I'm
Not
saying,
true, honestly.
You could look up those odd titties on our IG at Esoteric Oddities. That is ESOTERIC ODD Oddities.
You can figure out the rest of them and hit him with that Twitter handle, girl.
At Esoteric Oddity, no S. I know I don't have to spell it for you guys. I spelled it 2 times.
Except for Oddity is ODDITIE on Esoteric Oddity. Because normally it would be with a Y. But we, like a lot of unique girls named Gabby, like to spell it with an IE. And I'm not coming at you, Gabby girl. I feel you.
IE.
Gabby. IE. ODDITIE.
Odd titties. All right. Signing off.
Signing off. Have a great day. Have a great night. If you are driving, wear your seatbelt. It might be too late for you to hear that.
You know, I'm not going to say have a good day anymore. I'm going to say have the day you deserve. Because karma. Sorry. So have the day y'all deserve. Be good people.
Listen, Caramel's a bitch.
Caramel.
It goes straight to my thighs.
I'm saying. And everywhere else.
Okay, bye guys.
Bye.